is Mary Gale, and I am Spartickes. Welcome to Spartickes Spartickes Knits, episode 2. Thanks for coming. Today is Sunday, July 7th, and let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you that I finished Kira's socks. While I'm getting these on, I want to explain the background. Change in venue. My laptop completely crashed. If you read my blog post that I put out this week, I said that whenever I pushed the P, the volume would mute. Then I have to push P again for it to unmute. Then it was just a mess. And I don't know what happened, but it's totally not turning on. So I am downstairs in what is called Josh's office, but it's really, I've kind of taken over more than half of it. I started off with just this table back here, but now I kind of get the whole corner over there to dry my stuff. So it's the basement. That's where we are, the basement. So I finished Kira's socks. They are just plain stockinette tube socks, toe up. They're made out of my Will and Grace base, the Tootsie's Orchid Lounge colorway. And I meant to bring what I had left over. I've actually made 3 socks out of this skein. And what I had left over was like literally this much. You can go to the blog and you can see how much I had left. It was hardly anything, and I've never gotten that close before. It was really cool that I used every tiny piece, but kind of scary too. Like so much so that I always leave, like these are some socks that I'm working on now, and I always leave a long tail so that I know where the beginning of the round is. When I was binding off, I wove in this tail and then I cut off the excess and I tied it on so that I would have enough to finish. But there they are. I really like the way that they turned out. Kira has not seen them yet. She's still up in Indiana with her grandparents. So until then, that will be my little hand puppets. Keep myself busy at night. Just kidding. That's all I have finished. I want to talk about what I'm working on. I just showed you the sock I had. I have a hoe because this one is finished. This is basic toe up. I'm sorry, it's boring, but that's always what I make. This is made out of Yarn vs. Zombies. This is her I think it's called Calico Cat colorway, and it's CMN, so it's cashmere, merino, nylon, super soft, and the colors come from her cat, which I think is really awesome. I made one. I normally do 2 at a time, but the way that she has her self-striping ball, well, sorry, it's kind of got a little yarn barf there, but I couldn't really figure out how to do 2 at a time, and I didn't want to wind it into a cake, so I just did 1 at a time. I wanted to talk about the Fleegle heel. I love the Fleegle heel. On the way to Minnesota with Stacy Knits, my good friend Stacy, hi Stacy, told me that my first couple of podcasts were like a big commercial for the Fleegle heel, and guess what? I'm back. I forgot to put my stitch marker in, but what I was going to do is just show you really quick, how easy it is, and that's why I like it so much, because I have it totally memorized. I don't have to look anything up. It's awesome. What you do is, when it gets on your foot to about here, so this is my foot, this is, this part of your foot, I don't know what it's called, that's when you start doing your increases. And you increase to twice whatever you have on your needle -2. So if I have, let's say I have 30, I think this one had 32. So I had 32 on each needle. Then I increased till I got to 60. So 30 minus 2, 30 times 2 is 60. And then what you do is right now I'm ready to turn the heel because I have 60 on my needle. And what I'm going to do when I get off the computer, off my video, off my podcast, whatever, when I get done talking to you, I am going to count over 15, so count over half, and then I'm going to put a stitch marker, and then I'm going to knit two past the stitch marker, and I'm going to do a knit 2 together, and then, or a slip knit, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to knit 1 more, and then I'm going to turn. And then I'm going to purl to 2 past the stitch marker, and then I can totally take off the stitch marker. I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to purl 2 together, and then knit 1 more. And I'm going to flip, and then I'm going to knit to wherever the gap is that I had just created, and I'm going to knit 2 together or slip knit, and close the gap, and then knit 1 more, and flip, and do that until there is just one gap left at the end, and then you go around and you decrease and your heel is done, and you don't have to pick up any stitches. There's no wrap and turns, there's no heel flap. It's super easy, and I can't do very much when I'm in a crowd of people other than stockinette, but I can turn my heel. So that's why I love the Fleegle heel. That's that. And then the only other project that's really gotten any work was the my Sable Scowl by Emma Galati, and it's in Spun Right Around Graffiti, and here it is. I can show you exactly how much progress I've made because of where my jerk cat bit a hole in the yarn, so that's right there. So I've right here. So I've made it's about my finger's length of progress, so however long that is. Sally from Idaho told us to use like everyday things to know how long everything is, but I don't know how long my finger is. She does though, so Sally would know, but I don't know. I love this pattern. It's super easy, super quick. The only thing I don't want to see where oh, here's the end of my round. The only thing is, she said, I don't know if I read the pattern wrong or if, I mean, that's probably what happened, more than likely, but you do a knit round, kind of like a rest round in between your pattern, and she said for the last 3 you're supposed to purl. I don't know how well you can see. So you knit and then you purl the last 3 and then you start your pattern round. But what about the first 3? Because you're like right here is where I'm creating basically the garter stitch, but then this one is just a stockinette stitch. So I don't know. Oh, it's really hard to tell with this yarn. I don't know if I'm just talking to myself here. Well, I do know I'm talking to myself, but I don't know if the people who will eventually hear what I'm saying will understand what I'm saying, because you can't really see it very well. But I told you last week that I'm not very good at seeing things in my head. I have to see it, you know, in person. So I didn't realize that I was making a stockinette here, stockinette here, and garter here. And I realized probably about this long ago, and I considered going down and changing it so that it was either all stockinette or all garter. And then I realized I really don't care. So, and especially because the yarn is so crazy wild, you can't tell. The only other thing about this pattern that I keep messing up, I have no idea why or how, and I'll tell you this, I just keep fudging it every time. But I knit in pattern. It's really easy pattern to follow, easy pattern to memorize, and I have no problem when I get to like the little stitch markers. I'm always right. I've always done everything that it's supposed to do. I read my knitting and everything looks fine, except for the very last, one, this row. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like. See how it's right there? This very last one, you can tell that I kind of messed up. I don't know how well you can see it because of the yarn, but every once in a while, maybe like every third or fourth one, you'll see where it's supposed to be a double decrease and it ends up only being a single increase or a single decrease because I'm one stitch off. One stitch off, always the last one, and the rest is always uniform. So I don't know what's going on, but as I just proved to you, it's hard to tell with this yarn. So yay for variegated yarn, right? And again, that was the Sable Scowl by Emma Galati with Spun Right Around Graffiti colorway, which is really lovely. Now, that's all that I have to show you as far as works in progress, but I didn't mention this last week. I got a new wheel. Ah! I picked it up from Jeanette, 9318, I think. She's Jeanette with some numbers after her name. If you were at the Stockinette Zombie retreat this year or last year, you'll remember she's the one that came with her husband. Well, not the one, but one of them. She had her husband there. And she contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do a trade for some of my yarn that I dye for her wheel. And I was like, yes! So that's what I've been doing with pretty much all the time ever. I keep spinning, I can't stop. And it's really fun, and I'm getting better. It is a Kiwi Ashford. His name is Benson. I'm currently working on a blog post about him, so in the next couple days, maybe you'll be able to read a little bit more about it. But I want to show you some of the things that I've done. I did not bring my very first, well, I guess I did. This is the very first yarn that I made and plied. Ta-da! It is from Daisy Knits that I picked up at the Stockinette Zombies. Well, most of it is Daisy Knits Superwash Merino, and just a little tiny bit, like this part right here, the part with the yellow, is Into the World. And this is Z-plied. I think that's what you call it, when I had it put it on the Lazy Gate and plied it. I've also tried plying from the inside outside of a center pull ball. That was awful, but I'm going to try again because I don't give up. And then I've also Navajo or chain plied, which the first time I did that was awful, but then the second time I did pretty well. So I don't know, I'm pretty excited. And then this is see, what happened was I spun this all together, but then this one broke, so I just stopped. And then I spun this. I haven't measured it, and if you can tell, I really need a thing that you put the yarn on, that y'all are probably shouting the name of it to me when you wind it off. It's got a hole and kind of like an eye. I don't remember what it's called, but I need one because I've been using my arm, and as you can tell, I don't do it very well, but here it is. I have no idea how big it is. I know that it's chunky. I don't know anything else about it, but I really like it. And I'm not an art yarn kind of girl. And I don't know, because I know my mom is going to watch this. And I don't want to say I'm going to give it to you, Mom, and then not give it to you because I like it so much. But I think I might give it to you and have you make something for one of my nieces because they would like it, I think. I don't know. So there's that. And then, oh, I forgot to look it up. I wanted to tell you about my project. I'm not doing Tour de Fleece, but I am, I might as well be because I'm spinning like crazy. And what I'm doing is I am making a magic ball from Paula from the Knitting Pipeline. She has a magic ball shawl, I think is what it's called. That's what I was gonna look up and I didn't. And instead of having little extra scraps to make the magic ball, I'm spinning it. Okay, so I have a ton of fiber that I've been picking up like when I'm at a retreat or mostly when I'm at a retreat and they have little samples, or the other thing is that Hillary, Hippie Penguin, sent me a whole bunch from fat fiber samples, and I've been slowly working my way through it with the drop spindle, but now I'm considerably a lot faster. So when I say I have a lot, I am totally not kidding. Like, this whole thing is, sorry about the crinkling, is full of fiber. Little fiber samples from, those were both Blue Mountain. Like, there's just all kinds. I got Into the Wool. I've got some that don't have names. Last year at the tasting room at SSK, I made a bat, and Emily Ooh Fancy Hands made a bat, and she didn't want to keep hers for some reason. So that's already, I don't remember which one is hers and which one's mine and which one's totally random. So, but I think I already spun it up, because what I did was I tried to do the ones that were longer, that I had bigger samples of, towards the end, so that it could be at the bottom, the ruffle part of it. And now I'm getting down to the littler pieces, but they're all still pretty big. But this is my first, and I don't think that, maybe, I think this whole spindle looks like this green. And this one, it's from Emily Fiber Addiction. She's on Etsy. She's very sweet, my friend. And it's called Poinsettia something. It's really pretty with the red sparkles. And then this spindle is the second one, and it's got, I think, 2 or 3 different samples on it. And then this is the third. And as you can tell, my yarn is getting more consistent. And I'm hoping to be able to chain ply all of these. Or, I don't know, I haven't quite decided, but I think I'm going to chain ply it. If I don't chain ply it, then I'm going to spin it with like a one consistent color for the whole thing. But that seems a bit more ambitious, and so I maybe just chain ply if I get better at it. And then this is what is on my wheel right now. And this, I went to the jumbo flyer so I can fit a lot more on there. And you can tell that it's got at least 3. This is a really pretty color. It's got like a fuchsia and a blue. And then next up was this, which I personally think is really ugly. it's got nubs, and I didn't like spinning it at all, but I think it'll look cool because of the way the shawl is. And then third is this one that I'm almost done with. Kind of a purpley color, purple and gray. And it's really fun to experiment with the different types of fiber. However, not all of the fiber I have is labeled, so I don't know if what I'm what I really like and what I really don't like. I don't know how to recreate what I'm using. But I am finding that I like the shorter fibers better than the longer ones, but that's all. Next, I want to talk about a giveaway. Yay! But I left it over there. Before I get up and get it, I want to tell you it is a spoiler alert. And if you are in the current holiday club, so the one that's for July, it's going out this week. Today's Sunday. It's going out this week. And you don't want to look if you don't want to be spoiled, because I have one of the skeins that's going to be in the club. So I've given you fair warning. If you are in the club, close your eyes. The holiday club that Lauren picked for July is Lauren Lemnick Crochet is our designer, and she picked Teddy Bear Picnic, which is the 10th, and she's designing a teddy bear for us. I don't know, I haven't looked. I don't know if it's 2 different patterns or 1 pattern. Excuse me, but it's, excuse me, a big bear and a little bear. And so you're going to get a skein of worsted weight and then half a skein of sparkly sock weight. And sparkly sock weight is the one I'm going to show you, so close your eyes if you don't want to see. Ta-da. And I have an extra because the holiday club has an even number of participants, and I had to make one for Lauren, so that makes it odd. And so then this is the extra half a skein, and I'm going to give it away as a prize for you all, well, for one of y'all. What I want you to do is I want you to go to the Ravelry page, Spartickes Dies, and I'm going to open up a thread, and I am always trying to get better as a business person and in my shop, and, you know, I guess that says it all, better as a business person. So I have a question for you. What is it that you look for in a club, in a yarn club, yarn of the month club? What do you like? What would make you say, yes, I want to be in that, I can't wait for it? I don't really want to know what you don't like. That doesn't sound right. I do want to know what you don't like, but I want to hear about it in private, so you can send me a private message if there's something that bothers you about some other club that you've been in, or even if it's my club that you've been in. But I don't want any negative vibes in my in my Ravelry group. So positive suggestions of what it is that you like about clubs, what would make you be in a club, what would make you not be in a club. Nope, not that part. That would be negative. What would make you be in a club, what makes you excited about clubs. So that's the giveaway, and I'm probably going to keep this open for a week. If you are already in my club, you may, certainly may still sign up. You can still get an extra half skein. It might not match exactly because it will be a different dye lot, but you are welcome to enter. And yeah, oh, and I wanted to ask, like, does the pattern that's coming out with the club, does that matter? Do you like to get patterns? Do you not like to get patterns? It's been a wonderful time for me because I've gotten to know a lot more designers, but I'm wondering, as a consumer, do you think that having a pattern pushes you over to say yes, or doesn't really matter, just whatever, if you like the yarn or not? So, and the price too. What kind of price does that matter too? So, those are my questions, and go to the Ravelry group and sign up. I will randomly pick somebody's name and let you know who wins next week, probably. I'm really bad at committing to things like that, but probably next week. So there we go. And while I'm talking about giveaway or about clubs, I am still taking signups for the last holiday club. That's going to be for August, September, October. Signups until the end of this month. If you go to my website, spartickesdyes.com, there's a little bar at the top that says sign up here. And if you click on there, you'll get the details and you can sign up. So there's really cool designers for that holiday club. But I'm not going to talk about them here. So go there. And there's that. The last thing I want to talk about is my shop update. The shop update's Mondays at 6 o'clock. And it is on my new website. I'm not on Etsy, so don't get confused if you go to Etsy and there's nothing there. Don't worry, I haven't run away. I just moved to a different platform and I'm trying it out for a month. So I'd love to hear your feedback about it. And as far as the update, it's going to be really small. I have just a couple skeins of yarn that I'm going to put in. And but I do have quite a few project bags that I'm going to update with. I want to start with my newest colorway. This is called the Batman Building. If you have ever been to Nashville, you will know that the Batman Building is a big part of our skyline. It's shaped like a Batman. Here, I'll draw a little picture. I'm not much for drawing. But the top of the building looks like this, and I think I can't remember what, it's some kind of corporation or business, I can't remember, I'm thinking like AT&T or something like that, but this is what the Batman Building looks like, and this beautiful sparkly yarn is going to be in the shop tomorrow. Let's see if you can, it's hard to get blue in the picture. It is one of my favorites. I like this. I like the dark blue color on here. And then I'm also adding this, which is my next to the latest or newest colorway. It's called Jack's Barbecue. If you follow me on Instagram, it's MARIGAYLE. You'll see a lot of these. I show pictures of them when they're getting made or in different parts of it, of the process. But this is Jack's Barbecue. This is also from the Nashville series. Jack's Barbecue is downtown on Broadway. There's a big sign with pink pigs, and it's got little blue hats on the pink pigs and some green and some orange lights, and it's just a really fun colorway. These, I only have a couple skeins of these, and I did dye them up on the worsted, so I don't usually do worsted. I usually stick with sock yarn, but this is worsted, so if you like worsted, go grab them. And I'm introducing a new kit, which I don't have, I only have one. Honestly, I only have one available, but I really like the idea. One of my very favorite movies, it is my favorite movie, not one of, it is my favorite movie, is Grease. And at the end of the movie, they sing a song about, but then we go together. And so my kits are going to be 2 skeins of yarn that go together. So if you want to make a 2 skein, like a 2-color shawl, or maybe a stuffed animal and put coordinating colors, or hat with 2 different colors, you get the idea. You'll be able to do that. Maybe some color work socks or something like that. And the kits are called Womp Bop Baloo Bop. Do you get it? Womp Bop Baloo Bop, Womp Bamboo, we go together. I'm not a singer, but that's what the kits are called. I'm not really sure how to spell that, so I'm going to have to work on that. And so the two that are going, the one kit that I have, which will be available later, and I would like to know your opinion about it, but it's going to be my Crystal Blue Persuasion and the Jack's Barbecue. That's cool. The blue in Jack's Barbecue is a little bit darker, but it coordinates really well. And it might get, like, depending on what the pattern is, it might get lost with the blue a little bit, but it is, you can tell, it's just a little tiny bit darker. So that's the Womp Boppily Bop kit, and that one will be available in tomorrow's update, and hopefully very soon I will be able to get more ready. This week I was busy working on yarn for fiber for the alpaca mill, which I'll talk about that another time, and then I had the club, so I was a little bit busy, but I still want to give you an update. And like I said, there'll be some more project bags. If you don't know about my project bags, here they are. This one is the medium one, and it sells for $14. Totally, completely reversible, and it sits. You can't see it. Nope, you still can't see it. It sits up. So it's kind of firm, and it can open it up kind of like a basket. So it's not like a normal drawstring, but it's kind of a drawstring. And so it kind of sits out like a basket. Like I said, totally reversible. The medium project bag is pretty big. Like it could easily hold, there's my socks. That's got the completed sock and then half a sock and then the yarn. I have various weights, meaning the interfacing, some of it's really soft and collapses, and some of it's really firm, but all of it is collapsible, and all of them will stand up like a basket. So there you go. Medium weight is $14, or medium size, this is $14, and then the large one, which is just like, I don't know, about this much taller, is $18. So those, I will be updating quite a few project bags, and then just a few, not very many skeins of yarn. And I did dye up some fiber. I don't know if it'll be ready for tomorrow or not, but you can look for it at the website. And I am done. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, this is Spartickes Knits, part of Spartickes Dyes, and my name pretty much everywhere is Mary Gayle, Marigayle, and I hope to be able to meet you someday if I haven't already. That sounded cheesy, but I do. I want to meet you. So have a good week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.